Hey everyone, it's John from Indian Cine-MANIAC with another 10-minute movie review. This is the sports film poll winner from about a week ago, and it was close, but Chak, India won. That was a 2007 film, and I want to thank Skyber Avatar for giving me the correct pronunciation. I thought it was Chak Day India. He told me it was Chak Day India, or Let's Go India. This was directed by Shimit Amin, and it stars, of course, Shah Rukh Khan, Vidya Malvade, Sagarika Ghati, and Chitrashi Rawat, who I really liked in this film, by the way. I'll get to her in a second. I know that in second place was Swarthes. I think that's how you pronounce it. I thought it was Swades, but it's Swarthes. And I understand that's not a sports film. So I don't know why someone told me it was. But anyway, I am going to watch that film anyway. So let's talk about this film. I'm going to try something a little different this week. First of all, thanks for everyone who participated in the poll. I think there was about 308 of you. It's great. I love the fact that you guys are getting involved. But I've also noticed that a bunch of you don't stick around till the end. So here's what I'm going to do. I hope that you've watched a few of these, and I hope I've earned your subscription. So subscribe, hit the notification button, and please, please, please smash the like button, because it really does make... Wait, no. I want to say that right. What? Like button Camaro. Like button Camaro. I think that's from Skyber, too, so thanks, Skyber. All right, so let's talk about this film. I really enjoyed this film a lot. It's a story of a woman's field. I think they call it hockey. Over here, we call it field hockey. And it's really the underdog. It's the sports trope of the underdog. The Shah Rukh Khan plays an ex-hockey player who blew the gold medal by missing a penalty shot, and he is shunned by India, by the town he lived in. In fact, him and his mother had to move. And, I know people think, well, that couldn't happen. Could that really happen? Well, let me give you a little anecdote. I'm a huge Boston Red Sox fan, our baseball team. And in 1986, they were on the cusp of winning the World Series. And a ball went through the first baseman's legs. And that was Bill Buckner. And they lost that game and ended up losing the World Series. And that man's life was so rough that he ended up taking his family and moving out of Massachusetts and moved to Arizona. Now, like Shah Rukh Khan, he got redemption when the Red Sox actually did win the World Series, and they brought him back, and he forgave the city. So it can happen. But it was rough, because some people thought he might have thrown the game. You don't know. So he ends up the coach of a women's hockey team. And, it was funny because this movie was the first Indian movie I've seen where it was really about women empowerment. Because I guess the culture, there's a certain patriarchy there. Not that there aren't strong women, but this was all about the women, obviously. And I really liked it. In fact, there's a line in there about the women where it says, I think it was one of the administrators, Indian women are cook and clean, not do this. So, it was very interesting. And then I was catching, I'm looking at my notes, so forgive me for this. I was catching things as it was going along. Anyway, so he's putting together this team, and they're a ragtag tag team. And it was funny because as I'm watching it, especially there was an introduction scene where each player is introduced, and you find a little bit about their personality. Well, there's a movie in the States that's called Major League. It starred Tom Berenger and Charlie Sheen. And it reminded me of that scene so much. You met the girls one at a time, and you really got to take on their personality. So I really like that. It was just like Major League. And then the scene. He's going to try to get this team together. They're not playing as a team. They're not crazy about him, and he's got to get them together. So at one point, he treats them awful. So they coalesce against him. And he actually says he's going to resign. They get him to resign. So what's the catalyst that brings them together? There's a giant fight at a local McDonald's where they beat the crap out of some guys who were mouthing off. It's a really funny scene. And there's one girl in particular who's a big girl, and she's whipping them around all over the place, and it's a great scene. But it's that event that brings them together, and then they realize that the coach is actually a good coach. So there were a lot of slaps in this movie, which is typical in Indian movies. The song Chak de India, the theme song they had going, I really liked it. It was catchy. And then he's trying to rally them. So they end up having to play the boys, and they want to go to a championship. I don't even know. It's not the Olympics, but it's a big championship. And the school administrator doesn't want them to go. They're not good enough. So Shah Rukh Khan says, well, let's play the boys. And if the girls win, then they can go. So they play the boys. In the first half, they get wiped out. And then the second half, he gives a speech, and he rallies them. Now, the good thing was, the surprising thing to me was, they still don't win. Which is, the trope would be they win. Well, they didn't win. But all depressed and dejected, all of a sudden the male hockey players start clapping for them. And everybody in the stand starts clapping for them. And then finally the administrator says, let them go. So then they get to go. So now they go to this competition. And the world championship for 6 years in a row is the Australian team. And of course, that's the first team they play. And they get absolutely wiped out. Like, I don't know what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting a blowout. So they end up in like a loser's bracket. So now they got to keep winning. So there's a couple of things that happen. He does this speech. It was very interesting shot. Interestingly shot. And it reminded me of the Herb Brooks, the Olympic hockey team, the Kurt Russell movie. The way the camera just was moving around him. And he gives this rousing speech of man versus woman. And it was great. And he was really great in this too, by the way. So then now they've got to go through the ranks and beat a bunch of teams. So they finally do that. And then they get to play the Australians in the championship. So you figure this might go a little bit different. So they have this big banquet. And I got to tell you something. The girls in this were, I really liked the girls in this. They each had distinct personalities. They each had their moment to shine. There was one girl in particular that I really liked, and she was a very little girl. She looked very young. And that was Chit Rashi. I really liked her in this. First of all, she could move. All the girls could move. They were decent hockey players. Now, I didn't do a lot of research on this one to find out how much of this they actually did themselves, but they looked like they could play. But there was something about her I really liked. She had a good personality. And then at a banquet, they're kind of looked down upon, but they go to this banquet and they get all cleaned up and they're wearing nice dresses and they had makeup on, and all the girls were, because throughout the movie they're all dirty and they're, because they're playing hockey the whole time. So to see them all cleaned up like that, they look just adorable, and they got respect from other people. So then the big game comes, and it comes down to penalty shots. So they end up tying the game. And by the way, that last scene, the last match is well done. But they do penalty shots, which is how Shah Rukh Khan lost the gold medal when he was there. And so now it comes down to penalty shots, and the goalie for India has to stop the final shot. If she stops the final shot, they win. Now, the one scene that I had a little trouble with, and again, I love this movie. Some of you said I wouldn't like this. I really enjoy. I don't think you have to be from India to enjoy this. I think if you're from India, obviously you're going to really love it. It was like us with the men's hockey, the U.S. hockey team. I totally get it. But that one scene where the penalty shot's being set up, and Shah Rukh Khan is looking at the Australian player and figuring out what she's going to do. And he's thinking this. And then he's thinking, look at me. To the goalie, look at me. Turn around, look at me. Look at me. And he's thinking it. And all of a sudden, she turns. And he does this. Like, stay right there. He's not going to go left, not going to go right, going to come right after you. And sure enough, shot comes right at her. And she stops it and they win. That was my only real criticism in this movie. I just liked it. It kept me interested the whole time. I was rooting for them. I was invested in each character, and again, I think each character was distinct. I mean, it's a Shah Rukh Khan film, so he's going to be front and center. But I have to say, I think he, when it was time for the ladies to shine, he let them shine, and there was some good supporting players. But yeah, I really I enjoyed this movie, and I liked also during the credits they showed excuse me, all the girls going back to their each one, and they've all changed. This experience has changed them. Even the big girl that was angry all the time, Mom, don't be so angry. So it was fun. So I really liked it, and it was a very likable side of Shah Rukh Khan. And of course, it ends with his redemption. He gets to go home with his mother to their original home that they were kicked out of 7 years earlier, and that's how it ended. Oh no, he gave his hockey stick to a young girl who's now going to play hockey. So, women empowerment, great bad news Bears feel to it. If familiar with that movie, Major League. Hey, every sport film ever made where the underdogs win. Just a really feel good movie. So I really enjoyed this. Thank you for the recommendation. And I'm becoming a Shah Rukh Khan fan. Now you're going to say, John, do you like Shah Rukh Khan more than Amir Khan? Some of you hate me because I'm a big fan of Amir Khan. So he's not quite there yet, but I'm going to watch some of his other movies too. So that's it. Now we did the comedy poll, and the film that won was Stree, which is labeled as a comedy horror film. I'm curious about this one because some of you say it's not a comedy, that it's strictly a horror film, or it's a horror film that's not really that funny. So I don't know. Delhi Belly came in second. In fact, Stree was at 40% and Delhi Belly was at 37%. So it was close. So I plan on watching Delhi Belly too. But so that's the next one I'm going to do. It's going to be Stree. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm really having a lot of fun doing these, and I love the back and forth of you guys in the comment section. So keep it coming. I love it. Oh, one other thing. If you guys, some movies I can't watch, as I say in the comments, I've given you a P.O. box. If you want to send me a DVD with subtitles, I'll be happy to watch it, and I'll give you full credit for it. I'm still waiting for Dungle. If anyone can get me that, I really want to watch that. So, again, subscribe, hit the notification button, hit the like button, and thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time with Stree.
हर दिल की अपनी ताल है, अपना ही एक राग है। हर दिल की अपनी धड़कने, अपनी ही एक आग है। जज्बात पिघले पिघले है तो क्यों ना हो।